Today we're going to talk about this device here, which is called the ClearOne XAP-Th2. The ClearOne XAP-Th2 was a device that used to handle our phone calls. You can see it's got these little special 3-pin plugs. I got the plugs for this, obviously. And it's using something similar to RS-45, I believe. Almost uses the same thing that a lot of devices use. Power supply here. I already took the screws out, that's why it's loose. And it has 2 buttons that answers the phone and hangs up the phone. That's it. That's all it does. But take the cover off. And for the most part, getting to the PC board inside should be pretty easy. And there are some little tiny electrolytic capacitors in here. And there's some PC board logic here. And there's the power supply right over here. It's this big honking thing. And the first thing I look for is, do I see any bad or bulging caps? And I'm not seeing any on there. This is the next thing I might have a problem with. This battery is soldered to the board. Does not look like it's rechargeable. No, it's just a standard lithium. It's a 1362 with tabs. So if that battery goes bad, that could mess it up too. Okay? So let's take a quick look and see if there's anything that looks like there's a programming control chip. Interesting. I didn't know that. A lot of surface mount parts on this. There's an electrolytic right there. These big tall cans, those are electrolytics. Not a ton of them, but these tend to go bad and they don't necessarily bust open. I'm looking for schmoo. Is there anything in here that's leaked out of this board? And I'm not seeing anything. It says provisions for crystal. It doesn't smell like roach junk, so that's a good start. But it's going to be really hard to functional test when it left the factory. It's the power supply now. It's in the big power supply. It's a different color board. That's the connector that goes to the mains. The earthing wire. 100 to 240 volts AC. Transformer. Looks like it's using a linear power supply. Or pretty close to it anyway. I don't see anything of an AC-DC switch on it. I see a couple class Y capacitors in here. I see, so physically, don't see anything that looks amiss. But the problem is getting these boards out here. I'm gonna get this board out. Focus, you fuck. Come on. Alright. And then the problem is I gotta move the power supply out of the way because this cord's in the way of the screw. The sockets I bought would be perfect for this. The problem is I gotta get that screw out. It's using a nut on the bottom. You probably can see what my finger is. There's a nut down there and there's no other nut. I gotta get that off. And so gotta get that open. So physically, from what I can see right now, it doesn't look like there's really anything really wrong with it. These rubbery switches do often go bad. On, off, duh. That's simple enough, right? that has a power indicator light that stays on all the time. We're also having a slight issue with the transmit gain is too high. I don't know, that could be anything. That could even be something from the input from the mixer itself was the problem. This was set up with the original mixer, which was, didn't have special effects on it. So for the application at hand, we have to make sure to get that working right. So it's a really it's a really nice looking digital processor unit inside. It's using something similar to DMX. This is the transmit and receive connections here. You can see it has the earthing, you get positive, negative, twisted pair. Your something RJ485, which is what it's using here. I'm sorry, RS485. RS232, that's to connect to your computer so you can do things like software updates. Remote option, this is where you can add your external DB25, where you can add in external key buttons and lights. This was connecting right through here. So yes, in a simple way, if this problem is just cruddiness on behind that backplane, then it should be easy to fix. If there's a bad capacitor like these surface mounts, that's going to be really hard to fix because I don't have the skill to really do that. If it's the battery over here, I gotta get a battery of the same type and put that in. You can see there's a programming jumper here. Apparently, I guess you can set this thing up to program it, reset the firmware on it. This probably is another connector for that purpose. Or another expansion board. So, that's what we gotta do. That's the way it's built, and just I would show it to you, because some of you probably never ever seen the inside of this. That's what it does. That's all it is, to make it possible to interface the phone lines with or show mixer. But we gave up on the phone lines originally because of, not because this is breaking, but because the trolls. But I thought I would show it to you. Now, since I don't have my ears on, I'm too embarrassed to show myself on TV. So just accept the fact that that's the box, and that's what the thing I said I was going to look into. Relatively pretty simple device. If I can get this board off here, I might have to remove the power supply first. It's been unplugged for a while, so the capacitors are probably not charged up. Let's disconnect the power cord there. And then take this out, and then unscrew that, and then use my socket set, and then remove this board and clean it, and see if I can get anything out of there, and make sure that the rubber switches are not losing the conductivity. So that's it. That's the phone system. Just thought I would show it to you. Bye-bye.